out the Zionist plan for world domination. The Bible, written by Hebrews, Morals and Dogma, written by Freemason Albert Pike, and the Protocols of Zion, written by the Priori of Zion and revised by the Zionist Illuminati. All three books describe the plan for an apocalypse or Third World War, which will give birth to one world empire and one world leader. This one world leader is called the Antichrist. The Bible is like a screenplay for a reality disaster movie, but with a fairy tale ending. The Zionist plan is to create an apocalypse that will exhaust and depopulate the masses through deadly designer viruses, global terror, economic disasters, and nuclear war. These disasters are timed to occur between now and 2014, when the remaining survivors will gladly embrace the promises of a handsome, charismatic new leader who will unveil his plan of hope for eternal world peace. The only way to achieve eternal world peace, he will explain, is to put an end to the 5 causes of war. Secretly, he knows there is only one main cause of wars: the wars caused by his royal ancestors who planned, provoked, financed, and profited from them. He will sell his peace plan by telling the world that border wars will only end by creating a world without borders. Religious wars will only end by creating one world religion of interfaiths. Economic wars will only end by creating a cashless, debt-free society. Rivalry wars between rulers will only end by creating one world ruler. The tools used for war, from handguns to nuclear bombs, will be eliminated, and one world army will be created, which will guarantee world peace. How will this eternal peace plan be accomplished? Through the United Nations, which is the brainchild of the Committee of 300 Ruling Families. The UN is their vehicle for world government and is located on 18 acres of prime Manhattan land donated by the most visible of the ruling families, the Rockefellers. The UN is a closed organization with no public records or open meetings. U.S. taxpayers have already invested $2 trillion in this world authority. Although most of the people working for the UN are genuinely working for peace, the UN is a godless organization controlled by the Committee of 300. These inbred ruling families pretend to have royal blue blood, but their blood is no more blue or royal than Hannibal Lecter's blood. Some speculate that these families of evildoers are demons or aliens or evil shape-shifting reptilians, but there is a more scientific explanation for their madness. For thousands of years, these families have practiced inbreeding between sisters and brothers, uncles and nieces, mothers and sons, to keep the power and wealth all in the family. This practice of inbreeding over thousands of years has produced a clever but pathological breed of conscienceless, sociopathic families who will stop at nothing to own every ounce of gold, every drop of water, and every blade of grass on planet Earth. The United Nations, which they founded and control, has clearly stated its goals of establishing a new world order, a UN standing army, and a global taxation system. The Queen's husband, Prince Philip, and Evelyn Rothschild have already established an interfaith declaration for the creation of one world religion. What would life be like in this world empire with one world religion, one world army, one world economy, one world court, one world media, one world government, and one world dictator? What the public doesn't know is that Karl Marx's Communist Manifesto and the Russian Constitution have been built into the UN Charter, and that the New World Order will be a communist world order. Peace on earth will be a forced peace in which citizens will have no rights. no right to bear children without approval, no right to travel without authorization, no right to own private property, no right to privacy, no right to bear arms, no right to protest, no right to receive an inheritance, no right to choose an education or a job or even a place of residence, and worst of all, no right to live. The right to live will be based on an individual's rating of usefulness to the royal elite. In this planned world without borders or nations, citizens will be disarmed of all weapons, including handguns, and will have no means to protest, fight, resist, or challenge this one world authority who will control them spiritually, economically, and militarily. Every human being will be electronically tattooed and will become helplessly dependent on this one world authority for all of their most basic needs. The masses will eventually be taught to bow down and worship this one world dictator who will rule the entire world from his eternal throne in Israel. The big question is, who is this charismatic leader that the entire world would be willing to accept as their ruler? According to plan, this future world ruler will prove himself to be a descendant of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, and will therefore be accepted by the Christian world. Some will even view him as the Savior and Messiah. As a professed descendant of Christ and a proponent of world religion, he will also be accepted by Buddhists, Hindus, and the Eastern world, where Jesus Christ reportedly lived, studied, and preached Eastern philosophy. Since he is a descendant of the Hebrew tribes of Israel, he will also be accepted by Hebrews and Jews worldwide. By marrying a Muslim woman, he will win the acceptance of the Muslim world. He will also be accepted by worldwide Freemasonry and secret societies, which he is a member of. As the son of Princess Diana, he is already loved and worshipped. When his mother died in the arms of a Muslim man in a Paris car crash, the world embraced him. On May 31st, 2004, the Rothschild-controlled Associated Press published a photograph worldwide taken by Alistair Grant. The photo shows Prince William posing with a lamb like Jesus Christ, who the Bible calls the Lamb of God. What is the significance of this photograph? To the unaware observer, the photograph is perfectly innocent, but to insiders familiar with the protocols of Zion, Freemasonry, and the Book of Revelations, William is identified in the photo as the Antichrist. The Antichrist has been described in art and literature as handsome and charming and a master of lies and deception. Freemasons call him the Baphomet, or Goat of Mendes. He has also been described as the embodiment of evil and the enemy of God, and has been called Satan, Lucifer, Pan, the Beast, and Amen. He is commonly illustrated with cloven hind hooves. Why is Prince William holding up a cloven hind hoof in the photograph? The question of whether God or Satan even exist has been fiercely debated since the beginning of debates. Some people believe that God and Satan are inventions of the ruling class to control the masses. Most people acknowledge the existence of positive creative energy characterized by joy, love, and vitality, and the existence of negative destructive energy characterized by greed, hatred, and death. The triumph of evil in the world today is based on the ability of evil to disguise itself as its opposite and fool the masses. According to Masonic calculations, Prince William is predicted to be crowned world dictator in the year 2015 at the age of 33. Without organized intervention, life and peace on earth will take on a whole new meaning. How many people would be willing to play a game of Monopoly with real money if the banker was making up the rules, rigging the dice, stealing the money, cheating the players, and grabbing up all the properties? The answer is almost everybody. The truth is that only 1% of the world's population of over 6 billion people is controlling the other 99%. That 1% owns the world's banks and most of the world's wealth, land, and resources. So why is everybody passively cooperating with this madness? Because the wealthy 1% who write the rules have taught the other 99% to obey them and to feel powerless to change things. When people feel powerless, they cling to passive attitudes like ignorance is bliss, things aren't that bad, or let God take care of everything. Before choosing a passive attitude, remember that the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. Despite all the red flags, many people deny that a problem even exists. It does exist, and the good news is there are solutions. The solutions lie in knowing what the 3 biggest fears of the world's ruling families are. The first biggest fear is exposure. They have gone to great lengths to cover up their trail of crimes and to win the public's trust through their media monopolies. Without public trust, their ancestral plan for global control is doomed. Their second biggest fear is losing public support. If the public stops cooperating, their plan is guaranteed to fail. Their third biggest nightmare is organized resistance by an informed and fearless public. The ruling families know from past experience that the will of the people can defeat all their military and monetary might. Vietnam is a perfect example. There is no doubt whatsoever that these ruling families can be totally defeated by turning their 3 worst fears into a reality. Solution number 1 is exposing the ruling families and their generations of horrific crimes against humanity. The most powerful form of advertising is word of mouth. Share information, talk about it, name names, recommend books, videos, and websites. Form your own study group and solutions group. Design a web page, show videos, films, and DVDs. Raise money, give money, organize, lobby, email, and do whatever you can to stop the madness. Millions of people around the world who protested the invasion of Iraq learned a hard lesson. They learned that peaceful protests don't work. Since the Committee of 300 Families created think tanks to mastermind a plan for global control, citizens must also create think tanks to mastermind a plan to stop them. Learn who the past and present members of the Committee of 300 are. At the top of the list are the royal families of Britain and Denmark, the international banking families, and the affiliated political families. Find time to research and read about the Committee of 300. Dig beneath the hype and propaganda, connect the dots, and share your information. The second solution for ending the madness is to take back control over your own money.
Sweet.
Right now, your money is in the hands of the ruling families who own all of the world's banks, including the privatized central banks. How did they get to be so powerful? It started with the very first banks. In the beginning, banks were a safe place for people to store their gold. When the bankers discovered that people left most of their gold in the bank for safekeeping, they started lending out the gold that didn't belong to them and charging interest on it. Soon, kings and royalty were borrowing gold from the bankers to finance wars. Since wars were extremely good for business, the bankers started stirring up conflicts that led to more wars. Then they lent money out to both sides of the wars and collected huge interest rates. Eventually, the bankers got so rich that they built banks all over the world. They made millions in interest just by loaning out other people's money that didn't belong to them. They bought mansions and fancy clothes and hosted extravagant parties. The royal families of Europe became the banksters' biggest customers and rewarded them with high society titles like Lord and Baron and Sir. Using their money and royal influence, the banksters changed the laws of nations so they could put the world's central banks, mints, and money supply into private hands, their private hands. Out of every $1,000 that each of their customers deposited in their banks, they kept only $100 on hand. They took the rest of their customers' money and made loans with it, invested it, and started up other businesses, like the steel business to create rails for their railway companies to transport oil for their oil companies. Pretty soon, the banksters' new businesses grew into giant corporations. Those giant corporations turned the world's oceans, lakes, rivers, air, and soil into corporate toilets. When profits from all their oil, mining, and drug company monopolies soared, the banksters became the world's richest men, but their greed had no limits. They wanted to own the entire world, so they put their heads together and came up with an ingenious scheme to take control of all of the world's money and riches. Whoever owns all of the world's money, they said, owns the world. Using their media corporations, they launched a gigantic advertising campaign. They told people they no longer had to save up their money and wait for all the things they wanted in life. They could have everything they ever dreamed of right now. All they needed was a shiny plastic card. People rushed to fill up their wallets with shiny plastic cards instead of money. Like lottery winners, they went on drunken buying sprees and bought everything in sight. All the things they couldn't afford. Nobody even noticed when their hard-earned paychecks were automatically deposited in the bank without ever being cashed. Suddenly, people's bills, fines, taxes, and purchases were automatically deleted from their accounts, and paying by check quickly became unfashionable. Eventually, money was phased out altogether and replaced with units of credit, which were really nothing more than numbers on a computer screen. The next thing the banksters did was replace people's plastic cards with their newest invention, barcode tattoos. These barcode tattoos contained all of a person's private credit information and could be invisibly tattooed onto people's wrists. Since having a wrist tattoo was like having an invisible debit card, and since nobody could steal it from you, everybody rushed to get one. All people had to do to buy whatever they wanted in life was scan their wrist tattoo over a scanner, and so the power for people to buy their most basic necessities in life fell completely into the hands of the banksters. Suddenly, people couldn't buy food, medicine, or even a cup of coffee without scanning their wrist tattoo. Eventually, people sobered up from their drunken spending sprees.
What do you mean you got no money?
They realized they had traded their hard-earned money for nothing more than a bunch of numbers on a computer screen. Their real money had become virtually unreal. Not only did the banksters own all of the world's money, They now had the power to delete a person's lifetime of savings. But why would these friendly banksters do such an evil thing? To force people's cooperation. This futuristic scenario isn't as futuristic as it sounds. Invisible wrist tattoos with all of a person's credit information have already been developed. So what can you do to take back control over your money before the banksters phase out the world's money system?
Hey, welcome to Santa Cruzin. You saw that clip there, that was like Truth TV stuff, you know, and we showed you last week about all the hippies and how it was all a big scam and this bloodline from the Egyptians and the Canaanites that turned into the Arabs and the Hebrews that have been intermarried and living together, I mean, intermingling, trying to rule the world. But the thing is, war and death is useless. We don't need that anymore. And this one section of people, it started with Solomon when he brought in the temples, you know, and they were nothing but a place where, because it said thou shalt not kill anything, you weren't supposed to kill animals or nothing, dude. And then so they instrument this thing where you could sacrifice to their great gods. All these people are into blood sacrifices. This one group of people, Hebrews or Egyptians or whatever the fuck they are, but they're into fucking blood sacrifices, which is sick ass shit, and useless wars, so that they can control us and everything. Why don't they do it peacefully and spread the abundance? What's up with the war and the killing and the sacrifices, like the Bohemian Grove where all these fools go to, and they have that big Egyptian owl sacrifice and all that shit, dude? It's like, hey, thou shalt not kill. Nothing, but you tell the Eskimos, man, to be vegetarians. Ah, nice try, you know what I'm saying? It all depends on your geological crap, and we all came from the same pond, the same place, man. We all came from the same pond, drops of water. We all know what everybody else knows, and then as soon as one drop learns something new, then we all learn it. So what we got to do is, because the District of Columbia in Washington, D.C., with United States of America is a corporation under the Queen of England with the crown, the three cities, the inner city, London, the Vatican, and the District of Columbia, the crown, the cross, and the sword. You'll see this on all their symbolism. That's how they rule you. Religion, you know, and money and all that crap. And then so if the District of Columbia in 1986 made themselves part of this crown, three cities, where they're not our country, they're under the Queen of England in these three crowns, that the Republic of California is asking all of you people that are buying into this illegal immigrant government to move back to the Washington and D.C. and get the hell out of the Republic of California, because you're committing treason and we're going to hang you. Now you can go back there and you can live with your masters and have your middlemen and your blood sacrifices and your war. Keep it in the District of Columbia and take it to England and to Rome. Those three cities. Take it over there. Keep it out of our country, man. You're treasonous traitors, dude. You're paying taxes. All these fools down here, the Kootenays and all these people in our running this city, dude, they're all devious, sick-ass parasites, man, and they're working us. They know this shit. They're trying to rule the world. Look at the Rittenhouse building down there with the Egyptian symbolism and the big double eagles and all that shit, dude. They're fucking putting it in your face, and you guys got your head so far up your fucking ass, all you're smelling is gas, and you're blowing that gas out your mouth. What the fuck, dude? With all your bullshit religions and all this shit, man. We've been showing this shit for your 6 years. Now they're shutting community TV down. They want to shut us down. All the rats are leaving. They fucking sent somebody in here and turned this place upside down. Got this big bus to go sports shit. Ian, whatever his name is, the board guy that was a ripoff in the first place, man, is quit now. After they totally took all our money with a $300,000 bus they're not even using, dude. They won't let us use it. We could make money with that shit. We want you guys to support community TV. Instead of sending money for politicians and for cancer things and all this shit, there's 14 cures for cancer. We showed you Sherry Rogers, MD. 14 cures for cancer. 95% of all disease is a lack of vitamins, minerals in your environment. They're working you. Look on our money. We showed you the destruction of the Twin Towers. We showed you the eye in the pyramid. You know, the third eye within you, your pineal gland. You create natural DMT, which is a psychedelic. Every night you sleep and you're tripping when you leave your body. Hello, where do you go? Oh, the brain police are going to come and get you for being under the influence of psychedelics in your sleep. Hey, that's how sick these people are. They want to control everything. And why are you buying into it? Why are you people buying into it? Why are you people buying into it? Why are you people buying into it? It's like, hey, you tell me. Anybody want to come down here on community TV and talk shit on this show? Come on down. First and third Thursdays of every month, 5 to 9. You got something you want to say about all this? Come on down. Let's hear it, man. It's like, is anybody out there? Are you fucking guys all just sitting around whacking off while you're watching your TV and all this crap? You want to see BS? Go to CBS. You want to see all BS? Go to ABC. You want to see the truth? Come see me at Community TV. That's right. Or any of these other shows, and don't let them shut us down. What do you think's going down here? It's like, what the fuck, man? You know, doctor-prescribed drugs are all Monsanto. All these same people own them. The same guys that made LSD, Sandoz. The same people up here, the Rothschilds and the bankers, are pushing all this shit to the mind control and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Dude, it's so sick. Doctor-prescribed drugs kill over 150,000 people a year. Oh, caffeine kills over 60,000 people a year. All your illegal drugs, all of them, including crank, kill over 6,000. Marijuana's never killed anybody. Hey, Dave, what's up? Oh. and where was I? Let's see. And yeah, and alcohol and tobacco kill over 250 million people. And the food, water, and air is killing the most of us. Denatured. God for these people means gold, oil, and drugs. That's who they're doing. The Queen of England was the biggest drug dealer in the planet. You saw that in the last show. Since the 1600s, the Opium Wars, they did the same scenario here based on the Opium Wars and got all this hippies strung out and shit, and then came in and brought the crank and the heroin and got us all feeling really good, man. Take illegal drugs, you feel better. See you later, Dave, down at the bowling alley tonight. We're doing Santa Cruz Star Makers. Hey, at the Boardwalk Bowl. It'll be over by the time you guys catch this show, but hey, keep an eye out for Sanderley Productions and shit, and you can see all that stuff and issues and everything. We have a lot of fun down here. Anyway, I'm babbling on. Word salad feeds your head, talking 20 miles a minute, because somebody needs to talk to you fuckers out there. Jesus Christ, man. Fire up a big juvie. Fire up a fucking speedball, dude. Feel good. Fuck the government. Fuck all these people, dude. But if you want to feel good like a kid in the morning, you don't need none of that shit. You can wake up by totally eating organic and doing everything pure water. Clean your system out. Water's one of the heaviest things on the planet. It's paint thinner. Clean your fucking system out, man. Quit putting all them Coca-Cola and all that shit in there. And if you're gonna eat anything, eat organic health foods. Why do they call them organic health foods? Well, that must mean the other shit's fucking poison caca, right? So you guys out there eating the poison caca and pushing the District of Columbia fucking alien fucking, what do you call them, bloodsuckers and shit, man. It's like, damn, they want to eliminate 90% of you. That's why they're doing all this spraying and all this shit and everything, and the oil and everything. You are the guys that are wasting oxygen. I'm not going to be sorry to see you fuckers go, man. I mean, if we got to get rid of some shit, it might as well be your ass. But anyway, if you're not organic, kiss it goodbye, dude. The radiation from Japan, the earthquake's coming, the coasts are going to be gone. Bye, I'm leaving. See you guys. I'm going up to the Sierras. I'll be sitting up here while these earthquakes are crawling in. But first, we're going to go to the California, what do you call it? Roots Festival in Monterey, Memorial Day weekend. High Roots is playing there, and we're going to be camping out. The Brotherhood is. We got a tent there. We'll probably get up and play a song with my kids' band, the High Roots and shit. And those are the 18 to the 30-year-olds. The Doobie Brothers, that wannabe commercial band that is headlining the blues thing. And of course, we turned on Pat Simmons and all those, that little pussy bitch dude, and he's never done nothing to stand up for any of this shit. They're commercial guys. Jesus is just all right. Old Blackwater, Mississippi Moon. Hey, I like the Doobie Brothers, but I don't like what they're putting down. Like Dale Ackerman and all them fucking assholes that are out here fucking wanting to be Plastic Star Biscuits heads, and Mazio and Jack Schwab and all these guys, local fuckers, the Santa Cruz Film Festival. They're all pushing for the District of Columbia Obama. Wavy gravy. Bobby Weir's fucking in the Bohemian Club. What the hell's going on here? Know your connection. Know your connections. They're sacred. You're not going to go get shit from somebody if you know them. If you love them and you're their bro, they're going to give you the kind. They're not going to give you this stuff so they can mind control you and get you walking like the sheep, and you know, you guys, you do what you're told, or you get home at 2 o'clock at night. I don't want you driving around here at night. You guys be off the streets. No alcohol. Shut the bars down. You kids, shut up. Get in line. What is this shit? Hey, I'm a Viking, man. You know what that means? That's the 6 kings of the He-Sox. Fuck, I'm a Danielite Hebrew? Damn, so fucking what? I don't have that gene where I want to kill and murder and rape and rule the world. Hey, we're in the peace and love thing, you know? It's like share nature's abundance. Governments, religions, organizations, gods come and go, but man's needs are eternal. You can't change that. Nature provides each generation with her abundance. Every generation with her abundance. We can put it all on computers and share the natural abundance of nature with all the earth shareholders for their basic needs, without sacrifices, without wars, without all this middleman crap and stuff. It's so easy, man. So it's like you got a choice out there. You can choose the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. Corporation, or you can choose harmony with nature and peace on earth, man. And then it's like, what are you putting down now? Let's see what you got. Come on, let's see it. So I'm going to go in here and show you some Jerry Miller shit with Dale Ackerman and all these guys and stuff. Dale is like pushing, he's just a kid, dude, that missed the hip trip, and he's into the Plastic Star Biscuit head, wants to be somebody, and the money and the fame and shit. But hey, I dig their music, and Jerry Miller, dude, is Moby Grape is one of the greatest guitar players in the world. I go out there and see him all the time. See him here. He played out at Fleet's party for his 60th birthday with Kai, Gamey and Kai and all the guys. And then so I'm wondering, why doesn't people come and see Jerry Miller if he's the greatest guitar player? There should be a line out here at the Cabas and shit. Well, hey, nobody knows about Jerry Miller. Nobody knows about the Brotherhood. Nobody knows about any of this shit, because we're like in Perry Como when we were with the rock and roll came out. We didn't go see Perry Como. You know what I'm saying? We went and saw the Dead and shit like that. So all these young kids don't know about this stuff. And then so it's like, wow, that must be time. Time has come today. I don't care what others say. Let's get hip to the man and quit working for him. Harmony with nature, peace on earth. Stop the war, feed the poor, open the prison doors, end the drug wars. Harmony with nature, peace on earth. You got that? The universe is our way. Love is our law. Peace is our shelter. Experience is our school. Obstacle is our lesson. Difficulty is our stimulant. Work is our blessing. Pain is our warning. And perfection is our destiny. That's the bylaws of the Brotherhood of Eternal Love, who's producing this show and bringing you Truth TV and trying to confront, educate, and elevate our consciousness so that we all realize that we're all one, even though in our diversity of everything's completely different. Within us, the one eye in the pyramid is the all-seeing eye of everybody, or the all-seeing eye of what you call the Godhead or the Goddess head, whatever. So I say on this, what our mission statement is life, the Aquarian Temple, first hippie ministers in the Haight-Ashbury back in the day was Four lips is bliss, the power of a kiss, preservation of the species, the force of intercourse, make love, not war, pray to the goddess, minister to the ladies, make love, not war. So on that note, I'm going to peace out. We're going to give you some Jerry Miller's band down at Don Quixote's. Hey, stay tuned. We got some more shit coming for you. Like I said, come on down here and become part of this stuff and help support community TV. We'll figure out something how we can keep this station in Santa Cruz and later with the New World Order. Anyway, peace out. Talk to you soon. Bye.
finally got high enough that I could walk the ladder. Put my microphone.
Thank you for that on my monitor. Appreciate that.
There's one good person. It's my fault. That's her.
Just got to read this song real quick.